The stories and the images keep pouring in this winter for you in Atlantic Canada. The Maritimes, you got your storm yesterday, but the Atlantic blizzard is not done yet. We have all-time snow records to share with you, and here comes the sun for many. Our Storm Watch starts now. So here's how it's playing out today. Things tapering off in the Maritime provinces. You can see a little bit of a rain-snow mix over Cape Breton Island, but Stephenville, some heavy bands of snow. St. John's, Newfoundland, we've seen snowfall rates of about 5 centimeters per hour this morning, so looking at about 20 centimeters on the ground right now. A live look right now at tomorrow morning, so indicative of the kind of weather we have. Looking across Newfoundland here, over half the island, 3/4 of the island under blizzard warnings. So take a look at these highways that you don't want to be traveling today. Through to Tuesday morning, 15 to 30 centimeters, but we could get a little bit more than that in some areas. How much you saw, it was 21 to 26 centimeters. This is at Shearwater. And for Yarmouth, it was a little bit less. We did get some mixing in Yarmouth. We saw some mixing in Halifax, but more so that was some nasty ice pellets as well as some freezing drizzle. Fredericton, 32 centimeters. Wow. Sydney at 59 centimeters of snow. And now you have bragging rights in Charlottetown and St. John to say that you have seen the snowiest season on record. Take a look at these numbers. Charlottetown, 463 centimeters of snow. And we're going to keep on adding to that this week. Take a look at Boston, too. They now have seen the snowiest season on record. They got a few centimeters of snow before you got the storm heading towards you in Atlantic Canada, 275.8 centimeters. Well, coming up, we're going to check in with Nathan Coleman, who's on the ground in Halifax. Stay with us here on the Weather Network. And blizzard warnings are blanketing Newfoundland for this morning. We've got over half the island under blizzard warnings, including you in St. John's, over towards Bonavista, Gander as well. Gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour along the shorelines. And take a look at this dark blue over the radar. That is indicative of very high snowfall rates. So St. John's, Newfoundland, already sitting at 20 centimeters of snow. We'll see about 5 centimeters per hour continuing this morning. By the afternoon, the Avalon Peninsula and the Burin Peninsula will see that snow tapering off, but then through most of the island in the central part, we're still going to see some very heavy snowfall rates. So when all is said and done, about 15 to 30 centimeters into Tuesday morning. A look at the blizzard warning here. So yeah, 3/4 of the island certainly in it, and this will be ongoing into tomorrow. For the Maritime provinces, what's left behind of the storm is blowing snow advisories, which does include places like Charlottetown, Sydney, also under that blowing snow advisory. Let's turn our attention to Nathan Coleman today, who is dealing with the after effects of the storm. And Nathan, I know there's still some closures today because of what happened yesterday. Oh, no, that's too bad. Thanks so much, Nathan, for the update. So, yeah, you want to check for any flight delays. A lot of people heading out for March break in Nova Scotia and PEI possibly today. It is messy, so you might be waiting an extra day for that. Halifax, 21 to 26 centimeters for you. We did see some mixing and ice pellets. Sydney, 59. Moncton saw 44 centimeters. And this is the look at the peak wind gusts that we saw because of the storm. Halifax, 76 kilometers an hour. So now, officially, St. John, New Brunswick and Charlottetown can...
Over the weekend, and so how much snow fell? In Halifax, between 21 and 26 centimeters of snow, similar in the Annapolis Valley, much less down towards Yarmouth because you had the mixing. But take a look, St. John and Charlottetown have now officially become the snowiest winter ever.
Congratulations. I feel like there should be a bell or balloons or something. You've made it. So now you can say officially this has been the snowiest. Charlottetown, 463 centimeters, and we're still counting this week possibly.
Blowing snow is the main concern today in the Maritimes. The blizzard is now across Newfoundland. Additional 15 plus centimeters of snow, even up to 30. So St. John's, for example, you've already got 20 plus centimeters, and it's coming down at a rate of 5 centimeters per hour. So as a result, it's whiteouts out there, many closures.
That's right. And
not the first time we've seen this happen this
Not
winter.
at all. Yeah. And thousands of people last night were in the dark across southern Ontario, including in Toronto.
Warm front has passed Ontario today, and this is going to be your warmest day of the week. Could hit double digits from Windsor to near Toronto. Eastern Ontario will be a little bit cooler. Northern Ontario and Manitoba had very warm temperatures yesterday.
Signs of spring, and look at this, your temperatures. Sprague, 15 degrees. degrees, 50.7 to be exact on Sunday. That's a new record. Gimli as well, a new record to beat. And as we look to this, Medicine Hat 20.9.
This was Saturday, and of course then the snow came into Alberta on Sunday, and we still have some lingering snow to contend with. The bulk of it will be, towards the Rocky Mountains, Kananaskis, Pincher Creek, and maybe additional 5 to 10. Calgary, you've had about 3 centimeters out there. Today will likely be just about your coolest day of the week.
Exactly. Okay. One of the coldest days of the winter for you. Today across the country, of course, that big system moving through Atlantic Canada. Big story for you in Newfoundland. For southern Ontario, rain moves in later today. Take note of that. And the cooler air there, Chris, in the prairies. And then how about Tuesday?
Well, Tuesday looks like cooler weather for southern Ontario, a bit of snow in Quebec, and then late Tuesday into Wednesday, more snow for the Maritimes, another 10 to 15 centimeters, and we'll have to watch what that does to Newfoundland late Tuesday into Wednesday.
Did create some power outages because of those explosions on the power lines. More to the story in southern Ontario in a moment, but our storm watch continues in the Maritimes, where these are the blowing snow advisories that are left behind. So not a lot of snow still falling, but because it's still going to be blowing around, we'll have reduced visibility. So yeah, the Confederation Bridge is closed. Marine Atlantic isn't doing any boat service between Sydney as well as Port aux Basques today either. And across Newfoundland, over half the island under a blizzard warning at this point. So that means very strong winds, and we're going to see the snow continuing. St. John's School Board has closures today. They'll have an update at 11 a.m. local time on what's going on. But with snowfall rates at about 5 centimeters per hour, you don't want to be on the roads this morning. St. John's at least 20 centimeters, and we could be looking at 30 or more across the Avalon when all is said and done. So the additional into Tuesday morning, a couple of the highways here to take note. In the dark blue is where we're seeing the most snow, but of course the winds also part of the problem. Closed today. Pickup for garbage and recycling in St. John's, Newfoundland, is going to be postponed until tomorrow. So that's the kind of day we have. Plus, I was just on a few of the airport websites in Atlantic Canada, and there are a lot of cancellations. So I know people in Nova Scotia and PEI are on March break this week. You might be delayed a day. Halifax, 21 to 26 centimeters for you. Charlottetown saw 48, and that now puts Charlottetown at the snowiest season on record. Same thing for you in St. John with 431 centimeters on the ground. Boston also smashed their record. They've got 275.8 centimeters. So it's been quite a winter for the eastern seaboard. Let's take you to Michelle Mackey, who's joining us. Tell us, Michelle, what you're going to be doing today. Certainly does. Thanks so much, Michelle. So we'll check in with her, and there is going to be some rain moving into Ontario. Coming up, more on that. Our Storm Watch coverage will continue coming up on the program, but a pause right now for Share Your Weather. If you tweet me at Nicole Karkic and use the hashtag Share Your Weather, this week you might get a personalized forecast. Today, our lucky viewer is Jeff Taylor. He sent this to me last week, and this was the sun rising. He said, this is Samuel Smith Park. Yesterday morning, the sun is rising in Toronto now at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. And this forecast for you in Toronto is this, Jeff. We've got an afternoon high of 9 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, sustained at about 10 kilometers an hour. But after today, there is a big drop in your temperatures. Looking at the 7-day forecast, we've got tomorrow at 3 degrees. Wednesday will be 2, and a bit of a messy rain snow mix coming for us Friday into the Saturday forecast. And spring is 4 days away, and it does look like we are going to be below average rolling into spring in Ontario. All right, today we've got that active weather in Newfoundland with blizzard warnings in place for Newfoundland. We've got the southern prairies dealing with some snowfall warnings in place for places like Crow's Nest Pass, Pincher Creek, waking up to snow today in the city of Calgary. Haven't seen that in a while. And taking a long-range look here, things winding down for Newfoundland tomorrow, but then another storm system on the way. We'll talk about that coming up. But right now, let's look at the science behind blizzard warnings. And Newfoundland and Labrador is exactly where we're seeing some of the most active weather across the country to start the day. Through to Tuesday morning, we're going to see an additional 15 to 30 centimeters of snow gander over towards St. John's, Newfoundland. Also, some very strong winds along the shorelines, gusting up to 100 kilometers an hour. So take note of some highways like one traveling through Gander being pretty difficult for today. Additional snow through the Maritimes, a general 5 to 10 centimeters, but overall things are tapering off. Be safe out there. So across the country this afternoon, it's going to be mild in Vancouver at 12 degrees. Calgary getting up to 3, Regina 2, Winnipeg a big drop this afternoon for you compared to yesterday. That's over a 14-degree drop, and Halifax -5. Blizzard warnings for much of Newfoundland into the morning. We've got Highway 1 through Gander, difficult for travel down towards St. John's, Newfoundland. It is heavy amounts of snow today, and of course those strong winds reducing visibility on the roads. So into Tuesday morning, it is going to be messy for travel in Newfoundland. For the Maritime provinces, you've seen the bulk of your heavy snow, things winding down for today, but still some strong winds blowing all that snow around, and rain moving in this evening to Ontario. It's a general under 5 millimeters.